Good afternoon. My name is George Wallington. I'm going to be talking during the second week assignment, public speaking, about a wild statement. The topic I decided to choose was my flight home and my first uh, seeing my family in about 9 months when I came back from a deployment in Iraq in 2004, beginning in 2005. So after we get all done and we get all packed up, we get bussed down to Kuwait City International Airport, KCIA, and we get on the planes. And from there, we flew to Ramsdorf Air Force Base, which is in Germany, and we just did a stop and go right there. And you could see on the airplane, everyone started to get the nerves and getting excitement and this and that. So it was kind of a weird feeling from where we just came from, where everyone was kind of focused on what they had to do. You can see everyone starting giddy. And we get back on the airplane, and then we fly. Our next stop layover was in Dublin, Ireland. And we landed in Dublin, Ireland, and we were lucky enough that they gave us a couple hours of pretty much free roam of the airport. A couple of guys, they called their family home right away. A couple other guys, to include myself, we went to the beer. We opened some beer. A couple other guys were just quiet. And was just really, really nervous and anxiety. And then after a couple hours, we got it back on the airplane and we flew to Bangor, Maine. That was a pretty cool experience. We landed in Bangor, Maine. And the USO was there. Old VFW local people who had took the day off work. Found out that we were flying home, and they opened us and they gave us like a little parade. It was very, very cool. Totally opposite of what the Vietnam veterans had to deal with when they came home. And we once again opened a couple beers, and we had good spirits. We were laughing, but it really didn't start to hit home because we had one more long leg, about another 5-hour flight to Andrews Air Force Base in Southern California. So we get on the airplane. People were a little boozed up. They were a little rowdy. But for the most part, the plane was dead silent. It started at home, that people were about to go home and see the family for the first time in almost 8 months. And you can see the nervous energy, and people were just trying to think for themselves and trying to figure out what they were going to say to their loved ones, say to their wives, their kids, their moms, their dads. But some people didn't have anybody to go home to, so they were just going to hang out with the guys and just let loose. So after about a total of about 17 to 18 hours, we finally landed in Andrews Air Force Base, and we had to wait again. We had to wait for 2 more flights that were behind us land, so we all could leave together to go back to Camp Pendleton. So by the time we arrived in Camp Pendleton from the bus trip from Andrews, it was right around like 9:30. And we pull in, we drive right past the families, and the families are just as confused as we are. And we pull in, we do some quick admin stuff, and then they have us march down in columns, and they do this big formation. Then they release us to our families. It was one of the few times I would say I was speechless, because I saw my wife. She was 9 months pregnant. I made it home before the birth of our third child. My other 2 boys didn't know what to say. They didn't know if I was any different. They didn't know if I was turned into this mean person or whatnot. And my wife was shaking and with her nervous energy. And I picked up my youngest son, gave him a big old hug, and said a lot of I love yous, and gave a whole bunch of people kisses and this and that. And you can just see that the entire crew that I came home with They were off in their own little worlds. They were, they made it home. So I don't know if this was really a wow speech, but to me, dealing with that nervous energy, not knowing what to expect when I got home, and seeing my family for the first time after the experiences that me and my crew that I served along with, to me that moment in time will never leave my mind or my heart. So I hope I met the requirements for this thing, but I gave it my all. Thank you and have a nice day.